The Senate will come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Bridges. Buckner. Buckner. Coleman. Cook. Quorum. Danielson.
Good morning.
Donovan. Fenberg. Fields. Fields.
Where are the members of the Black Caucus?
Excused.
Gardner. Gonzalez. Gonzalez. Hanson. Heisey. Holbert. Hawkes Lewis. Kirkmeyer.
Here.
Colker. Lee. Liston. Lundeen. Lundeen. Moreno. Pedersen. Priola. Rankin. Rankin. Gonzalez.
Mr. Panetta, Senator Lundeen will be marked excused.
Rodriguez. Scott.
Here.
Simpson. Smallwood. Sonnenberg. Story. Winter. Woodward. Zenzinger. Buckner.
Excused.
Lundeen.
Excused.
Got him. And Rankin.
Excused.
Mr. President.
Here. With 31 present, 0 absent, and 4 excused, we have a quorum. Would the good senator from Denver please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, members. Please join me in saying the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the journal. Senator Hawkes Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. President. I apologize. I did not have time to do a limerick this morning, so I will make this simple. I move the reading of the journal of Friday, March 12th, 2001 be dispensed with, and that the journal be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
That is more than an appropriate motion. You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. Senate Services.
March 15th, correctly printed Senate Bill 182, correctly engrossed Senate Bill 6, 21, 58, 92, 93, 97, 100, 102, 104, 115, and 122, correctly re-engrossed Senate Bill 96, 123, and 145, correctly revised House Bill 1161.
Members, the Senate will stand in a brief recess so that we can transcribe some co-sponsors on consent calendar. The Senate will come back to order. Members, just so you're aware, we had that brief delay, obviously because we were waiting on the House, and the House is not starting until 10 a.m. today. Third reading of bills, consent calendar. Will the clerk please read the bills listed on the consent calendar?
Senate Bill 97 by Senators Garcia and Smallwood and Representatives Caravel and Williams concerning the continuation of the Michael Omick Medical Transparency Act of 2010 in connection therewith, implementing the recommendations contained in the 2020 Sunset Report by the Department of Regulatory Agencies. Senate Bill 102 by Senators Buckner and Simpson and Representatives Duran and Williams concerning the continuation of specific dental hygienist functions and in connection therewith implementing the recommendations contained in the 2020 Sunset Report by the Department of Regulatory Agencies. Senate Bill 122 by Senators Janal and Froelich concerning the bulk purchase of opiate antagonists pursuant to a standing order. Senate Bill 93 by Senators Bridges and Representative Lantine concerning the continuation of the healthcare associated infections and antibiotic resistance advisory committee and in connection therewith implementing the recommendation of the 2020 Sunset Report by the Department of Regulatory Agencies. Senate Bill 92 by Senators Coker and Representative Judah concerning the continuation of the regulation of persons who assist surgeons and in connection therewith implementing the recommendations contained in the 2020 Sunset Report by the Department of Regulatory Agencies. Senate Bill 21 by Senators Bridges and Heisey and Representatives Young and Carver concerning the enactment of the Audiology and Speech and Language Pathology Interstate Compact and in connection therewith making an appropriation. Senate Bill 104 by Senators Zenzinger and Representative Kipp concerning the continuation of Special Education Fiscal Advisory Committee. Senate Bill 115 by Senators Zenzinger and Lundin and Representatives Tatone and Larson concerning the use of money in the Colorado telephone books with disabilities, telephone users with disabilities to fund support, talking book library services to certain persons with disability and connections therewith making an appropriation.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the passage of all the bills in the third reading of bills consent calendar, which includes Senate Bills 97, 102, 122, 93, 92, 21, 104, and 115.
Is there any discussion on any of the bills listed on the consent calendar? The motion, seeing none, the motion is the passage of all the bills listed on the third reading of bills consent calendar. Are there any no votes on the third reading of bills consent calendar? With a vote of 31 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 4 excused, Senate Bill 097 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Janal, Buckner, Mr. Panetto, Senator Buckner, I cannot record you as a co-sponsor on this bill, but I will on the following. Mr. Panetta, please add Senator Buckner to the roll call. Co-sponsors on Senate Bill 097. Senators Hawkes Lewis. With a vote of With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 absent, and 3 excused, Senate Bill 102 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Janal, co-sponsors on Senate Bill 122, excuse me, Senator Perrella, how do you wish to be recorded? Co-sponsors on 102, Senate Bill 102, co-sponsors. Senators Priola, Woodward, with a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Bill 122 is passed. Co-sponsors. With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Bill 093 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Janal. With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 3 excused, Senate Bill 092 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Janal. Liston. With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 3 excused, Senate Bill 021 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Gardner, Zenzinger, Simpson, Woodward, Lee, Patterson, Janal, Story, Buckner, Priola, Cook, Bridges, Winter, Hawkes Lewis. Please add the President. With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 3 excused, Senate Bill 104 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Priola, Bridges, Winter, Buckner, Janal, with a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Bill 115 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Priola, Gonzalez, Hanson, Janal, Gardner, Buckner, Danielson, Story, Winter, third reading of bills. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1161?
House Bill 1161 by reference to Roder, McLaughlin, Senators Zenzinger, and Quorum concerning spending required statewide assessments for selected grade levels for the 2021 school year and in connection therewith reducing an appropriation.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1161 on third reading and ask for an aye vote.
Is there further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the passage of House Bill 1161 on third reading and final passage. Are there any no votes? Senators Priola, Gardner, with a vote of 30 ayes, 2 no votes, 0 absent, and 3 excused, House Bill 1161 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Bridges, Hanson, Danielson, the Minority Leader, Simpson, Buckner, Winter, Rodriguez, Hawkes Lewis, Heisey, Pedersen, Janal, Sonnenberg, Majority Leader, Moreno, Story, Gonzalez, Scott, Donovan, Coleman, Lee. Please add the President. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 006?
Senate Bill 006 by Representative Rodriguez and by Senators Rodriguez and Representative Soper and Titone concerning the conversion of human remains to basic elements with a container using an accelerated process and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 6 on third reading and final passage and ask for an aye vote.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the passage of Senate Bill 006 on third reading and final passage. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 3 excused, Senate Bill 006 is passed. Co-sponsors. Mr. Minority Leader. Senators Priola, Hanson, Gonzalez, Winter, Hawkes Lewis, will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 058?
Senate Bill 058 by Senator Story and Karam and Representative Woodrow and Larson concerning the alternative principal programs and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Story.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 58 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the passage of Senate Bill 058 on third reading and final passage. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 3 excused, Senate Bill 058 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Heisey, Simpson, Zenzinger, Hansen, Sonnenberg. Please add the President. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 100?
Senate Bill 100 by Senators Buckner and Representative McCluskey concerning the continuation of the Council of Higher Education Representatives.
Mr. President, I move Senate Bill 21-100 on third reading and final passage.
Is there further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 100. Are there any no votes? Senators Woodward, with 31 aye votes, 1 no vote, 0 absent, and 3 excused, Senate Bill 100 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Zenzinger, Winter, Gonzalez, Bridges, Janal. Please add the President. Senator Story, do you wish to be recorded as a co-sponsor? Please add Senator Story as a co-sponsor on Senate Bill 100. General order, second reading of bills. Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of general order, second reading of bills.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes having the motion is adopted. The Senate resolve itself to the Committee of the Whole for consideration of general order, second reading of bills. And Senator Rodriguez will take the chair.
Committee will come to order and the coat rule is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 84?
Senate Bill 84 by Senator Smallwood and Representative Gray concerning the authority of local governments to prohibit the operation of motor vehicles upon rough roads when necessary for protection of the public.
Senator Smallwood.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 84 in the committee report.
To the committee report, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In committee, we made an amendment. We included adding off-highway vehicles to the definition of motor vehicles.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of the committee report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the report is adopted. To the report, or to the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senate Bill 84 is pretty easy. In current law, local governments are allowed to close roads due to public safety, but there is a sort of a gap in the law that says if a...
Well, no.
Who is that? Is that Senator Buckner? Senator Buckner, can you please mute yourself? Senator Smallwood.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good bill. Vote yes.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is adoption of Senate Bill 84. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Please, please read the report to, please read Senate Bill 141, is that? The titled Senate Bill 141.
Senate Bill 141 by Senators Priola and Colker and Representative Burnett and Basley concerning the competitive solicitation method used by the statewide Internet Portal Authority to contract for a statewide portal integrator.
Senator Priola.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 141. There is no committee report.
Senator Colker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senate Bill 141 is, everyone should have a copy of this insert on their desk from before we left this weekend. SIPA, this bill is referring to SIPA and its procurement process. Currently, SIPA must use a request for proposals mechanism for procurement. The authority shall not enter into a contract with a statewide portal integrator unless the statewide portal integrator was chosen by the authority pursuant to a request for proposals issued by the authority. The purpose of this is to allow for an invitation to negotiate. The last time there was an RFP process in 2013, they had one response. This goal here is that they may prosper more responses to evaluate. This ITN invitation to negotiate has been used in other departments, and we feel it's an opportunity for them to be able to get more opportunities to negotiate and not only look at costs, but effectiveness of this program.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 141. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no, and the ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 12?
Right, it's me.
Senate Bill 12 by Senators Donovan and Representative Roberts concerning measures to create opportunities for persons who acquire experience in wildland fire services through the Inmate Disaster Relief Program.
Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move for the adoption of Senate Bill 12 and the Associated Agricultural and Natural Resources Committee report.
The committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The committee report added in a request that this concept that's presented in this bill, which is creating opportunities for people who participate in the SWIFT program. It asked for the interim committee that looks at wildfires to continue to study this issue. Why include that in this bill? I think many of you experienced a truncated stakeholder and bill drafting period this year. We had hoped to look at some concepts of what they're doing in other states such as Arizona in this bill, where Arizona has created a more thorough and complete SWIFT program, but with kind of the constraints and challenges of bill drafting this year, we couldn't quite get to some of the more extensive concepts, including like a certificate and graduation program for SWIFT participants, a post-release wildland firefighting team, specifically a funded team that's post-release that would help transition these SWIFT firefighters into other employment prospects. There was conversation of collateral relief, expungement of records, etc., some kind of bigger concepts if you were in the SWIFT program and then became employed as a firefighter, and a more directly sponsored state program for employment. All these ideas, I think, are good ones that deserve further study. So the committee report asked the interim committee to look at these ideas for the next 2 years, and if they feel appropriate to introduce new legislation, they can. That aspect of the bill repeals years. ask for your support of the committee report.
Thank you, Senator Donovan. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of the committee report. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the report is adopted. To the bill, Senator.
Thank you. After that robust and vigorous support of the committee report, I hope we can continue that level of excitement as we move to the bill. Senate Bill 12 it came from, I think, something that at least happens often to me. I don't know if it happens often to you, but never happens to majority leader. But sometimes Colorado and its landscapes kind of set up ideas for you. So I was driving down to Chaffee County to Salida, went past Buena Vista where there's a correctionals unit where the SWIFT program is based out of. And the SWIFT program is the State Wildland Inmate Fire Team. At that same moment, as I was driving past the correctionals facility, I could see smoke from wildland fires billowing over the mountains behind him. That very distinct wildland fire color smoke. It doesn't look like any other smoke. It doesn't look like clouds. You know instantly what it is. And so I started thinking through this concept. What was interesting about that is at the exact same moment, there were multiple people across the state having the same idea. And that was, how do we use this really good program that's within the corrections division to better support our wildland fire activities. So this bill tries to, the intent of the bill is to take these SWIFT program participants and make sure that there is a more direct pipeline for them to be employed post-incarceration. Colorado has a higher than average recidivism rate for the national average, and one of the critical things to avoid recidivism is employment and community connections. And this bill would try to achieve both of those. So the bill will require the division to develop materials to make sure that the SWIFT program participants know that after they've acquired fire service experience that they can have an opportunity for employment post-incarceration. And it also develops a peer mentor program to continue to develop and sustain those professional skills. And it finally asked the Wildland Fire Management section of the Department of Public Safety Division to not disqualify an applicant solely on the applicant's incarceration history. They have not done this previously, so I don't want to imply with this bill that they do this, but it's kind of the belt and suspenders part of the bill. So coming off a year of seeing record fires across the state, in all aspects of the state, I think it's really important that we continue to make sure our communities have the best resources they can. This continues to support the SWIFT program by making sure that these guys that receive really quality training can have a pathway to employment and continue to support their communities. And I ask for an aye vote on Senate Bill 12.
Thank you, Senator. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is adoption of Senate Bill 12. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 56?
Senate Bill 56 by Senator Holbert and Gonzalez and Representative Van Winkle and Gray concerning expansion of their opportunities to administer medical marijuana at school to a student with a valid medical marijuana recommendation.
Senator Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 56, the Education Committee report and the Appropriations Committee report.
Thank you. That is a proper motion. Is there any discussion to the committee report? To the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In the Education Committee, the committee adopted a series of amendments, 4, I believe. One is critical, and really the change, the advance that will be made in this bill in order for cannabis-based medicine to be dispensed on school property by someone who works for the school will need from the parent a doctor's recommendation as described in the Constitution, and then precise dosage instructions that list the specific product, the amount, the time, every 4 hours, every 6 hours, but those dosage instructions. And with those two things, we're providing school nurses the fundamentals of a prescription. We're not able to give a prescription. That's not contemplated in the Constitution, but finally we have found a way to get the information to the school nurses so that they can work under the delegated authority of a medical doctor. That was one of the critical amendments. Also, we exempted out private schools. If a private school wants to accommodate this, great, focus on this, that's fine, or not allow it, that would also be fine. Also, schools on federal land can be exempted if they need to be. We do have some public schools that are on military installations, for instance. And if the federal government says this is not allowed, then those schools don't have to do it. And then finally, more clarification on federal funding. There is concern that abiding by such state law might put federal funding at risk. That has not happened here in Colorado, and it did not happen under the Obama administration. And then there was a significant change. It didn't happen under the Trump administration, and now we've had another significant change, and I see no indication that it would actually happen under the Biden administration. So that's a review of the changes made in the Education Committee report. Ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of the Education Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the report is adopted. To the Appropriations report, Senator Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Appropriations Committee appropriately appropriated $15,419 to pay for expenses at the Department of Law. Ask for an aye vote.
That is an appropriate response. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of the Appropriation Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Ayes have it, and the report is adopted. There is an amendment on the desk. Would the clerk please read Amendment L006?
Amendment L006 to Senate Bill 56.
Senator Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move L006.
Is there any discussion? Senator Holbert?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, you may want to come down and get a copy of L006. This is very, very detailed. The drafter did find in a couple of places that there were unnecessary quote marks and also plurals where it should have been singular. So I believe if you go through lines 1 through 15 of the L006, I think that, or 14, that would cover the excluding the unnecessary quote marks and or plurals. And then on lines 16 through 20, another amendment requested, dun, 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 by the Colorado Education Association, otherwise known as the Teachers Union, with whom I would never work with cooperatively, would I? Absolutely. Lines 16 through 20 exempts teachers who are covered by Title 22, and that is an appropriate motion, or appropriate request for an amendment. Ask for an aye vote on L006.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is of the adoption of Amendment L006. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. There is an amendment on the desk. Would the clerk please read Amendment L007?
Amendment L007 to Senate Bill 56.
Senator Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move L007.
That is a proper motion. Please explain your amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. L007 continues the discussion that some schools, particularly a shout out to those at Adams 12, to clarify that the dispensing instructions be repeated through this bill and what would become law. They understood what the dispensing instructions related to, what it referred to, but they asked that it be added in 2 additional places. Then also, lines 15 through 18 Just further clarification that people who work in our schools, whether they're school nurses or teachers or coaches or whatever, administrators, that they would not be held liable civilly or criminally for assisting a student with cannabis-based medicine. Ask for an aye vote on L007.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of L007. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. To the bill, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senate Bill 56 is the most important bill that will sponsor, that I'll bring this year. This is for Ben. This is for Amber. This is for Brad, the Wan family. In 2014, as I was running for the state Senate, the Wan family began to contact me and ask if there was anything that I could do to get our school district, Child Protection Services, our district attorney, and our sheriff to leave them alone. What had happened? One day, Amber, mom, took son Ben to school. And the school nurse asked Amber, why is Ben, who was an epileptic and whom the school nurse had helped at school through many epileptic seizures, the school nurse asked Amber, why is Ben not having seizures? And there on school grounds, dun, 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 Amber reached in her purse and pulled out a little plastic or glass vial of CBD hemp oil called Charlotte's Web. And she explained to the school nurse that as long as she and her husband gave Ben a consistent dosage of CBD oil, not something that can get you high, as long as Ben had a consistent dose of CBD oil, he did not have seizures. And members, that is 6+ years ago, coming up on 7 years, and Ben has not had seizures. Yay! That's a good thing. Under the duty to report law, the school nurse reported the Wan family for potential child endangerment. And the sheriff and Child Protection Services and the district attorney and the school district all appropriately investigated the Wan family to determine whether or not they were endangering Ben's life by giving him something that cannot get him high that made his seizures not happen. That was frustrating. I had to tell the Wans as I was running for the state Senate in 2014, no. As a state representative, hopefully a state senator, I do not have the authority to tell those other officials to leave you alone. But I do have the authority to pass legislation that would protect families like the Wans and the young man Ben, who you met on opening day last year in 2019. I was proud to introduce him. Members, this bill is really a milestone in this effort. I was proud to serve as a prime sponsor in 2015 of what was then Jack's Law that allowed parents like the Wans or a designated caregiver to go on campus and dispense non-smokable cannabis-based medicine on school grounds. What this bill would do would require every school board, every school district to adopt its own policy to allow storage of cannabis-based medicine on school premises, like they do with pharmaceutical drugs, for instance, Ritalin, Adderall. Those are powerful drugs. It doesn't tell them how they have to store it. They can do it in exactly the same way, or if they want more security, they can do that too. But they have to adopt a policy that provides storage options for students who rely on cannabis-based medicine, non-smokable. That way students won't have it in their own possession. Wouldn't want to suggest that a student's going to work or going to school today with cannabis-based medicine on his or her person. But some moms and dads can't get off work to go do that. So this would really help, and it's a good public safety step to do this. The second thing that this would do is not require, but finally allow adults who work at the school, school nurse, teacher, coach, principal, it would allow them to assist the student in dispensing cannabis-based medicine. It doesn't require. If a person has an objection, says, I don't believe in that, I don't want to do that, they don't have to. They would be held immune. No criminal or civil liability would be incurred by saying, no, I don't want to do that. Same thing goes for those who do help. If a school nurse or someone else says, yes, I will help, I'll follow the doctor's instructions, working under the delegated authority of a doctor. If they do help, there's no criminal or civil liability. And they can't lose a license, a registration, a credential from the state. That's all been protected. That was another thing that we did with the CEA request for an amendment. Members, as I said in committee, if you have a reason to vote no on Senate Bill 56, please come down here and tell me, or just catch me one-on-one before we go to thirds. I'll work on that too. This is a great bill for parents and students who have struggled in this state unnecessarily. And this will help people. I think that this effort has helped people in a more significant way than anything else I've worked on in 10 years in the legislature. I'm proud to stand with my good friend from Denver and ask for an aye vote on Senate Bill 56.
Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, I just want to let you know how critically important this bill will be to the folks who are directly impacted, to the young people, to their parents, to the school districts who have been looking for clarity. I want to acknowledge them and thank them for their perseverance. And I want to thank the good senator from Douglas County for his persistence in being able to work alongside the school districts, the federal government, and here at the state capitol to find a way forward to provide clarity and comfort to so many of these families. It's an honor to be working alongside him in this effort, and members, I ask for an aye vote.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say a few words about this bill because we did hear it in committee. And I will say that when this bill came to committee, I think there were a lot of people that were very credulous about this policy. I think that when it came to committee, it did not have its votes to get out of committee. And then, through the process of testimony and working with concerned stakeholders on amendments, this bill came out of committee 7-0. I think that speaks to the work that was done on this bill. I think it also speaks to the nuance of this type of policy. If you just look at it on its face value, it's very easy to come to the conclusion, no, I don't think we should do this. But if you take the time to listen to the testimony, the proponents, all of the different stakeholders and the amendments that were adopted, I think this bill got to a good place. And it was surprising to me, quite honestly, because again, I didn't think this bill was going to come out of committee. It was powerful testimony, quite frankly. It was one of the best committee hearings that I've ever participated in. And I truly, truly encourage an aye vote on this bill because I think that it solves a problem. I think it supports families. And at the end of the day, it's about our students having what they need to be able to continue to function at school. And I encourage a yes vote.
Senator Coram.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I truly do wish to thank the sponsors for doing this. To give you a little history, when 2013 Amendment 64 passed, Senator Schwartz and I carried the legislation on hemp. And over the years, I have carried quite a bit of legislation. And I do remember probably the most powerful committee that I've been in when this subject came up. And I was so impressed with this young man. This young man's family moved from Arkansas to Colorado because of the availability of this. I'm not positive, but I believe his name was Dakota. I'm not sure. My wife could probably tell you because she's got a lot better memory than I do. Mine's like a steel trap. It's pretty rusted. But this young man was having 300 to 400 grand mal seizures a day. He was totally not functional. His vocabulary when they left Arkansas was about 5 or 6 words. Hungry, sleepy, tired, angry. No communications. The impressive part of this, after a few short months on this medication, and I do call it medication, he read and presented his testimony before the committee. If that would have been the only child in the state of Colorado that benefited from this, in my mind, it was worth it. But there are far, far more out there than this young man. So a wholeheartedly yes. Thank you.
Senator Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, to wrap up, I said in committee I was wrong. If you went back to when the medical marijuana amendment passed to our Constitution, I was frustrated because I still don't think it should be in the Constitution. If it's going to be legalized, I would have preferred to see it statutorily. But I was wrong then because I believed then that real life-changing, symptom-curing medicine couldn't be made from the cannabis plant. I know now from meeting Ben Wan and many other children and adults that medicine can be made from the cannabis plant. I was wrong. If you have not had the opportunity to meet those people, parents or students, if you'd like to meet them, come let me know. I can introduce you. Advocates for the medical industry, cannabis industry in this building can help you meet them. I don't use the word miraculous or miracle to describe this because as a Christian I reserve those words for when there's no other explanation. It had to be an act of God. In these instances, people's lives have been changed significantly, and there is an answer. It's cannabis-based medicine. One of the most frustrating things about the Wan family story is they had to sue our school district for violating Ben's civil rights, access to cannabis-based medicine. That's one reason I'm running this bill. And during that lawsuit, apparently, from what I understand, someone from our school district suggested that maybe Ben never had epilepsy. After their employee, the school nurse, asked why is he not having epileptic seizures anymore after helping Ben through many epileptic seizures. Unbelievable. Members, this is a very, very good bill. I'm proud of it. I'm thankful for my prime co-sponsor. I'm also thankful to 2 people in the lobby. For the Colorado School Nurses Association, your lobbyist, Diane Protopopita, worked very hard to help solve the problems that existed in this bill and find solutions. Thank you. Thank you, Diane. And for those at the Colorado Association of School Executives, you are represented here by one of the finest lobbyists I've worked with. Her name is Elizabeth Rosen. She wasn't here to advocate for this bill and make sure it got done, but she tackled school district issues, concerns, one after another, and helped find solutions. And we wouldn't have had this great bill if it hadn't been for those 2 lobbyists. Ladies, thank you very much for your help. Members, this is a great bill. Ask for an aye vote. Sorry to take up so much of your morning, but this is the most important bill to me this session, and I'm grateful for your time and attention. Ask for an aye vote.
Seeing no further discussions, the motion is the adoption of Senate Bill 56. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Majority Leader Fenberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion before the committee is to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come to order. Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has met and had a number of bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report has had under consideration the following task bills being the second reading thereof and makes the following recommendations thereon. Senate Bills 84 as amended, Senate Bill 141, Senate Bill 12 as amended, Senate Bill 56 as amended, passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed in the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption of the report.
Will the clerk please add Senator Lundin to the roll call? The motion is the adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of With a vote of 33 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 2 excused, committee of the whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 084 as amended, Senate Bill 141, Senate Bill 012 as amended, Senate Bill 056 as amended, passed on second reading, ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Consideration of governor's appointments, consent calendar. Will the clerk please read all of the appointments listed on the consent calendar?
Members of the State Plumbing Board for a term expiring July 1st, 2024, John William Hill, Colorado Springs, Colorado, plumbing contractor engaged in construction of residential commercial buildings appointed. Members of the Board of Trustees for the Fort Lewis College, effective September 1st, 2020, for a term expiring January 1st, 2023. Christopher Adam Red of Ignacio, Colorado, Republican, appointed, effective September 1st, 2020, for a term expiring January 1st, 2025. Mary Rubidoux of Durango, Colorado, Democrat, reappointed, effective December 31st, 2020, for terms expiring December 31st, 2024. Ernest Domingo House Jr. of Aurora, Colorado, serves as an unaffiliated, reappointed. Richard C. Kaufman of Centennial, Colorado, to serve as a Democrat, reappointed. Julia Levy Duval of Centennial, Colorado, to serve as a Democrat, appointed.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the confirmation of the appointments listed on the consent calendar, which includes members of the State Plumbing Board and members of the Board of Trustees for Fort Lewis College.
Is there any discussion? The motion is the confirmation of all the appointments listed on the consent calendar. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 33 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 2 excused, those appointments are confirmed. Message from the governor.
March 12th, to the governor for signature on Friday, March 12th at 1:32 p.m. Senate Bills 53, 55, and 83. Friday, March 12th, Colorado Senate. Honorable members of the Colorado Senate, pursuant to the authority vested in the office of the governor of the state of Colorado, I have the honor to inform you that I have approved and filed with the Secretary of State the following act. Senate Bill 52, Capital Construction Supplemental, approved on Friday, March 12, 2021 at 1:21 p.m. Senate Bill 109, Bond Payments for Aurora Higher Education Center, approved on Friday, March 12, 2021 at 1:21 p.m. Sincerely, Jerry Polis, Governor. March 15th, Colorado Senate. Honorable members of the Colorado Senate, pursuant to the authority vested in the office of the governor of the state of Colorado, I have the honor to inform you that I have approved and filed with the Secretary of State the following act. Senate Bill 53, Adjustments to School Funding, Fiscal Year 2020-21, approved on Monday, March 15, 2021 at 4:18 p.m. Sincerely, Jerry Polis, Governor.
Would the Capitol Choir please organize itself in the well? Sunday was Senator Gonzalez's birthday, and yesterday was Senator Kolker's birthday, and please join us in wishing him a happy birthday.
Oh. Call the Senate. Oh, call him for a birthday.
Nothing more important in my life. I'm happy to wait.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Senator Kolker.
Announcements. Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the State Veterans and Military Affairs Committee, I do want to let you know there have been a couple of changes to our calendar. And so I want to walk you through what bills we will be hearing and what bills we will not be hearing today. We will be hearing the confirmation of the Veterans Community Living Centers Board of Commissioners, followed by Senate Bill 5, followed by Senate Bill 10, followed by Senate Bill 153, followed by Senate Bill 32, followed by Senate Bill 131, followed by Senate Bill 173, followed by Senate Bill 149. We will not be hearing Senate Bill 159, and that will be rescheduled for a later date. Thank you very much.
Senator Janelle.
Thank you, thank you, Mr. President. Sorry about that. Because of the weather, we have some changes as well. With the Health and Human Services Committee, we are hearing only one bill today, and that is Senate Bill 117 by Senator Moreno, and that is 15 minutes upon adjournment in room 357. This afternoon at 2 p.m., we are hearing two bills in the Senate Local Government Committee, and that will be Senate Bill 155 by Senator Heisey and House Bill 1083 by Senators Priola and Zenzinger. So, thank you.
Senator Winter.
Thank you, Mr. President. Transportation and Energy will be meeting at 2 p.m. today in room 357. At the request of the sponsor, Senate Bill 114 will be laid over until next week. We will be hearing Senate Bill 72. Also, we will not be meeting on Thursday. Transportation and Energy will not be meeting on Thursday.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. This weekend, we had daylight savings time. And last year, there was an intention from Senator Scott and I to run a resolution memorializing Congress, asking them to stop the insanity. But this year, we decided not to run that resolution because anything that gets us closer to the end of this pandemic, even if it's 1 hour closer, is worth it. But next year, we will be back with that resolution.
I was visiting with the good senator from Arapahoe County debating whether or not that fell under the purview of announcement or moment of personal privilege. But because he did cite the good senator from Grand Junction by name, he'll be fined accordingly for that.
Thank you.
Further announcements.
Oh, Venmo, yeah.
Members, before the majority leader makes his announcement, I just want to point out that we are concluding our work on the floor and the House is still on announcements. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, just a quick announcement to fill out and sign your green sheets and get them to the front desk as soon as you can. And Mr. President, we do have a couple of bills to read across. You do not need to be here. I move that the Senate recess until 11 a.m. today.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the Senate will stand in recess until 1100 today.